fire for Netanyahu or for Arafat? Have years of step-by-step diplomacy been shattered? And what's next for the tinderbox known as the Middle East? We've got a roundtable of 3 guests to talk about all of this. Joining us here in our studio is Mr. Abdelqader. He's the vice president of the Palestinian American Congress, one of the country's biggest Palestinian organizations. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Also joining us at our bureau in Washington is Simona Sharoni, an assistant professor of peace and conflict resolution at the School of International Service at American University. And also in Washington is Chaim Shibi. Mr. Shibi is the Washington bureau chief of Israel's largest newspaper, Yediot Ahronot. And let's start with you, Mr. Abdelqader. Do you think that Mr. Mubarak and perhaps more importantly, Mr. Arafat will eventually agree to show up at the summit?
I think Arafat will ultimately show up, but some assurances from the United States of America that they will intervene, all right, to assess the situation in the Middle East. It's very clear that Arafat did not provoke the situation. The deliberate act by Netanyahu and his government to open the tunnel in Jerusalem, which the last previous government couldn't dare to do, is a clear provocation, and it will change the characteristics of the city from Arab to Jewish neighborhood. And this will lead in the future to more claim by the Jewish state for Jerusalem. As we know, the peace process, Oslo Accord, and the Declaration of Principle, which was signed in Washington, clearly indicated that the status of Jerusalem will be negotiated in the last stage. So I think Arafat, he wants some assurances from the American government that steps will be taken, okay, to ease the situation in the Middle East.
All right, you mentioned the tunnel, and we've heard so much about this tunnel, and I don't know if Americans can fully relate to the importance of historical religious sites the way people in other countries, older countries, can. Ms. Sharoni, let me